Welcome to the Dr. Nikki Starr Show, a podcast to support you in your spiritual awakening and personal development. As a spiritual teacher, healer, and intuitive coach, my intention is to empower you to live your ultimate potential and your ultimate life. As a former medical doctor and mystic, my role is to bridge the gap between science and spirituality to support you in understanding more of your multidimensional aspects. I share on a diverse range of topics, and it's all to support your greatest becoming. My mission is to continue reaching millions of people for the healing and awakening of humankind for the creation of the new earth. Thank you for being here. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Dr. Nikki Starr Show. I'm your host, Dr. Nikki Starr, and today I am going to be speaking to us, the ones who are the 1%. And even if you may not categorize yourself in the 1% right now, I am sending out the prayer and intention that you be activated into the 1%. So what 1% am I talking about? I'm talking about the 1% of people who actually change their life and live their ultimate potential. And that's us. We are the ones who are here to live our ultimate life, to live our ultimate potential. And we are so committed and devoted to that. That means that we allow what is not serving us to leave with ease and grace. We let go of the things that are standing in the way of us living our highest timeline. We are so committed and devoted to our self-care, our personal development. We allow ourselves to be activated. We are a part of the conversation and the movement and the change that is here to affect the entire planet. We are the ones that are here to literally transform and change the very fabric of existence, to create a new paradigm that is our heaven on earth. And we know that it's possible. We know that we are here as creator beings, and we know that we're going through a reawakening, a remembering process that we can call the spiritual awakening process, to remember all of the codes, all of the wisdom, all of the skills and abilities that we cultivated even in past lives. And we're bringing it into this life to support us in the fulfillment of our mission. And we are going through a constant evolution, and we're on the fast train, right? We're evolving, we're growing, we're transforming. Nothing can stop us. And even if there are moments of challenge, we know that that challenge is here to serve us. We know that everything is in support of our greatest becoming, and that it's our job to become even more masterful, to see everything as an opportunity, to be alchemists of every single situation, where we turn everything that happens into gold, where we turn everything that happens into an opportunity that serves us. Even the things that might seem challenging, even the moments of dismantle where everything might seem to collapse around us, we know that it's because we're being brought to a higher, better timeline. And we know that we're here in service to our highest timeline. That even when we create goals and intentions, we know that could be the potential for something even better that we can't think of. And that's why at the end of our goal list, we put this or something better, all for the highest and best good of all in support of our highest timeline. We know deep down what are the things in our lives that we're ready to let go of. And maybe that even means jobs, the kind of work we're doing, because we're being called to something higher, something more important that is here to support the evolution of humanity. We are the spiritual warriors that are here to literally help change the planet. And we've activated the codes inside of ourselves. And there's always more.
There's always more codes to activate. There's always another level we can evolve and ascend into. And as we become even more masterful, we learn to do it in a way where we are so grateful for all that is. And we feel joy and contentment and happiness and grace and beauty. And we're so overflowing with this appreciation and gratitude that we could also never have anything again and we'd still live the most beautiful, content life. But we know there's more for us. And we don't allow, as I talked about in the last episode, we don't allow any stagnation. We don't allow any parts of us or anyone else to keep us small. We know the bright, shining star that we're meant to be. We know that we're the kind of person when we walk into a room, we inspire others. We've been that bright, shining star our whole life. And sometimes maybe we lose our way a little, we take a little detour, but again, it's always serving us. Every part of our journey serves the greater good, the whole picture, even the dark nights of the soul. And sometimes we do have to go through the dark night of the soul so that we can really reflect, absorb, absolve as well, heal, integrate aspects of our shadow and ourself that are not serving us. Those are the parts that keep us small and stuck. So those moments serve too. We are nature. As we are living on this earth planet in this lifetime, we are nature. So that means we have to sometimes go through a death cycle. And in that death cycle, like the dark night of the soul, that's where we can purge and look at all the parts of us that are just asking for more love and to be healed. And it's perfect. Just like there's winter as a season, we go through winter within ourselves, and that's perfect. That's perfect. And that's why we work with the guides that we work with, the healers, the coaches, to support us in every season of our lives. And that's what's so beautiful about this work, because the 1% does the personal development work. We as the 1%, we do the healing work. We take full radical responsibility for our lives. And it's a joy to rise up, to evolve, to transform, to expand. We love it. We love it because we know that our success is so rooted in who we're becoming. And our success is not just measured outside of us with numbers. Yeah, it's all great. The numbers are great. They're a measure of success, but it's not the ultimate deciding factor. It's who you are as you are walking your path in life. Who you are as the mother, who you are as the sister, the daughter, who you are as the guide, the coach, the healer, who you are as the woman who walks down the street, who you are as a friend. And of course, we all have moments in our life where we go through challenges in our relationship, and it's only to serve us to rise up, to open our hearts to greater love, to also see what relationships may not be in full alignment. We learn so much through our relationships. And we are the 1% that is so devoted and committed that we will do anything for our mission. And we create our work in a way that's for the highest and best good of all. And it's a part of us. It's an extension of us. It's like one of our children. And we get to share our gifts in a way that really supports us in having the most beautiful life, doing things on our terms in our way. We are the revolutionaries. The 1% are the pioneers that are creating a brand new paradigm to show that we are the exception to the rules. I recently shared a podcast episode about that. You can definitely tune into that if you haven't already, to remind yourself that you are the exception to the rules. Anything you desire, you get to make happen, and you do. You are a master manifester. You are a master creator. You know you've already achieved and realized so much. What's next? And you know, as the 1%, the only way through is through. So accepting all that is, receiving and collecting all of the wisdom, all of the treasures, all of the gems. And then as you grow in your wisdom, you take the next best step. You take your next action step. You rise to the occasion. And so where and how can you expand even more? Because as the 1%, you're devoted to living your ultimate potential. So, what's next for you? As an activator, my work is deeply stemmed and rooted in supporting you and activating your next level. And so, what is calling to you? Where do you know you're ready to expand in a new way, in a new level? Sometimes it's not necessarily more in the realm, especially for those of us who have reached certain levels of success in the material plane. Sometimes where you're being called to expand into is more love, being the embodiment. Your embodiment is calling you forth for more. And there's such a beautiful thing that starts to happen as we step into our masteries, as we shift our focus to who we're being instead of what we are having. And it's who we are being while we are doing the things. That's when we start to see a shift in results. That's when we start to see the overflow happen even more. Because the intention comes from and is an extension of your heart, of your love. And love is always more money. Love and money are the same. Love and success are the same. So sometimes you might be being called to more love. Sometimes you might be called to focus on relationship, on love, not on your mission and purpose. Because the other aspect of the 1% is we're here creating the new paradigm. And even as the Tao says, in the Tao, the family unit is the most powerful, potent unit. And so the highest frequency of relationship is divine union and divine love. And divine union is the type of relationship where your relationship not only is for each other, but it benefits the whole world. It benefits your family, it benefits the community, it benefits the nation, and it benefits the world. And so as the 1%, we're here to be fully rounded in all aspects of life. Maybe it's about more balance, more enjoyment of life. Even though I know for me, I love my work and my mission so much, and it really is a big part of my life and takes up a big amount of time in my life, and I love it that way. But then as I talked about in the last episode, there's different seasons of our life for different things. So sometimes you might find in a different season, there's a different aspect of you wanting to be cultivated. And your excellence in all that you do is really what's being asked of you as the 1%. So you're going to want to always recheck in on what are your values. They can continue to evolve, and just, are you in alignment with your values? We're all a unique piece of the puzzle. So what is your mastery will be different from mine, will be different from another. And so your invitation is always to show up authentically and integrity with you and your values, and to share your mission, your light, your work with the world in a way that is in alignment and in integrity with your soul's divine blueprint. And so your true mastery as the 1% is being so connected to and tapped into your divine blueprint, your soul, what you're here to do, be, and have. And that's your focus and mission. You're not here to be everyone for everything. You're not here to be the expert at everything, even though some of us, especially as a manifesting generator in human design, there could be that tendency to have many talents, but it's because you're such an ancient soul that is here having lived so many lives, possibly in other planets too, and you're bringing this wisdom from so many places. And so, how are you being called to rise into your mastery and greatness and your ultimate potential even more? As an activator, that's always what I want to inspire in you. I'm always here to remind you that there's another level if you're ready for it. And it's not coming from a place of needing to fix or needing validation or anything like that. It's because we as the 1%, we're committed to excellence. to becoming our best selves, to mastery every single day. And that's something to be proud of course, in the most humble way. But like, how beautiful that you want to be your best. How amazing that you actually make the changes. Because a lot of people talk a lot of talk, and that's the 99%. Well, some people don't even talk. So there's a percentage that like just doesn't even care and is just living whatever monotonous life, almost like a robot. But then there are those who then start to question and think, what if? But then there are those who actually go on the journey and actually make the changes when they find the discovery, when they receive the clarity, when the answer arrives. That's the 1% of us, the ones who are actually changing, actually making a difference, actually moving the needle, actually taking action. And there's no such thing as failure. You're always learning and evolving and growing. It's just learning. It's just the universe saying, not like that. And this is the thing that I want to remind you as the 1% is everything is always working out for you. And so because everything is always working out for you, even when there's a dismantling, like something happens and it seems like, oh no, that's not what I wanted. It's actually the thing that is bringing you to what you want. It's just hard to see that in the right now moment. But if you look back on your journey, you'll see, like for me, like leaving Malibu, I was resisting it, but it was the best thing because I love Ibiza so much more. Right. But I couldn't in that moment. In that moment, I felt a little bit like devastated, even though there was a part of me that knew I was like, let me check these places out to possibly move. But then there's another part, as I talked about in the last episode, that can be stuck to an old identity of yourself. You're always growing, changing, and evolving. So the 1% of us are the ones that stay at the edge of our evolution curve. We stay in the progression of who we're becoming. We don't stay victim and shackled to old versions of ourselves, nor the projections of who or what our family tells us we should be. We truly honor our North Star and our compass. And sometimes that means saying goodbye to things that don't serve us. And as the 1%, we are strong enough to do that because we know that we're rewarded on the other side with something even better. As the 1%, we have to be willing to let go of things that are good enough for what's greater. That's the 1%, because the people not in the 1%, they'll settle or they'll stay because it's good enough, or they'll settle. That's a good enough thing. That's a good enough house. It's a good enough this. But as the 1%, we're here for greatness, for excellence, to live our ultimate life, to live our ultimate potential. And so we don't settle. We keep striving, but from that place of gratitude, from that place of, this is amazing and I want to see how good it can get. This is so good. I love it. And I'm curious to see what else. I'm curious to see what other gifts there are in store for me. I'm curious to see what is my actual potential. Like, what can I actually do in this life? Like, what else is calling to me? Maybe I'm going to start another business. Maybe I'm going to start this new hobby. Maybe I'm really talented at something I never even tried, but I'm going to go and find out. Because you choose to live life to the fullest. So good for you. I applaud you. I celebrate you. This podcast was to remind you who TF you are. I don't really like to curse. Remember who you are. You are the 1%. You're part of the 1%. So wherever you've been sitting, stalling, procrastinating, waiting, no more. You are the 1%. Connect with me if you want to go deeper and work together to activate even more of your potential and your power to live your ultimate life, to live your ultimate potential. It is the greatest honor and the greatest joy to witness all of you rise into your ultimate potential and realize all of your wild manifestations and those bucket list dreams. And let's keep expanding and see what else there is for you. So thank you so much for tuning in today. Sending you so much love, big kiss, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Dr. Nikki Starr Show. Please like this podcast and share it with anyone you feel would benefit. Subscribe to the podcast to receive bonus content, and remember, every Monday the video version goes live on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being on the Ascension path with me and for doing this great work.